Hey, what's up, guys? It's Kendrick Ramirez here. Welcome to the Like Minded channel. I'm here in South Florida at the park. It's pretty cold outside, but got to get some sun. And it definitely feels good to be out here. Better than Canada, because it's freezing over there. I got some friends over there, but I actually want to talk about today my decision on going vegan. I made this decision sometime last year, in the beginning of the year. I wouldn't say I've been a vegan for a year. I've been learning a lot about veganism and nutrition and raw foods, living foods for the past year, from a bunch of different sources. I always say I don't listen to I don't believe everything he says to everyone I listen to, but I do take it in, and I'm very teachable, and I'm very open to learning, and I'm open to experiencing these things on myself, because there's a lot of programs that I've been shown to or brought upon, that don't really make sense now that I've learned about other programs, you could say, where I'm just basically unprogramming myself, because eating meat, drinking milk, cheese on everything, that used to be me. I used to not like a lot of cheese, but I did, I ate cheese moderately with my stuff. I had sandwiches, pasta, burgers, man, everything, burritos, tacos, eggs. People love putting cheese on their eggs. I was never that type of guy. Just sunny side up, that's it. But even a couple years, I've been learning about health for a couple years, and I read a book called Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About by Kevin Trudeau. If you haven't read that, I recommend that you do. He even talks about, he doesn't talk about veganism, but he talks about, chemicals in our food. He talks about this stuff. So for a year before, so like in 2016, I was eating, wild caught salmon, farm raised or free range chicken, right? Organic oatmeal for breakfast, organic eggs for breakfast, organic Ezekiel toast, right? I used to make, beet, apple, berry, kale smoothies, every morning. And I even used to put like coconut oil in it and stuff like that. I was very into the nutrition, but I was on a different plane of nutrition. There's a lot of different planes. Some people will call this thing healthy, but now that I've learned so much stuff, it's like I can't even call that healthy anymore. I can't call grass-fed beef healthy. I can't. But I used to, right? I used to say, "Oh, that's much better," and it is much better. It is much better, because you're not getting as much of the crazy hormones. You're still getting it. You're not getting it as much adrenaline. You're not getting the adrenaline, in the beef that a lot of cows secrete when they're being, freaking slaughtered, right? They're scared, right? How would you feel? And why would you eat that feeling, right? Because everything is energy, everything is feelings, everything is an expression of God. And honestly, that's the low part, of nutrition. That's not good, eating meat. And he even talks about it, and I talked about in my last video, Essence Gospel of Peace. It talks about that. It talks about meat, right? It talks about eating cooked foods. So, excuse me, guys, I'm kind of shivering out here. It's cold, but yeah, there's different planes of knowledge that you go throughout the years. I'm not saying I know everything, but I do know enough now, and I do know a lot of the truths with health. And even with the raw foods, there's a lot of different things that you can get into. There's like spirulina and stuff, and there's like chlorella and all this algae and different things that you can get yourself into But at the end of the day, you want to eat, living foods, and you want to eat foods that are designed for our species. And fruits are scientifically proven the number one food for a human being. And honestly, for the past year, I've been a vegan, but I've been mostly raw vegan. I've been mostly eating a lot of fruits, and I was even eating a lot of, like in the end of 2016, I started to eat a lot more fruits. And so for the past year, I've been implementing a lot of fruits. But I also do get caught up, eating vegan meals. But I'm very conscious of it, and and I look at my digestive process, right? I want to see if my kidneys are filtering. I want to see if I'm having regular bowel movements. I'm not trying to like constipate myself with these vegan foods, because they can't. Just because they're vegan doesn't mean it's healthy. So you want to eat the foods that are from the sun, mostly. And so that's what I do, and that's what I love doing, because even when I eat vegan meals, I go straight back to a smoothie, go straight back to a fruit juice, go straight back to eating a fruit, right? Because that's just what I love now, and that's what I've gotten used to, and that's what I know is going to give me absolute energy. And I feel it. It's not just like, oh, somebody told me apples are awesome for you and that's it. Somebody told me that beef is good for you too, and people still tell me, oh, you need protein, right? And I could go back to that thinking, but I'm not, because that just doesn't make sense to what I understand about, proteins, and what I understand about fats, and what I understand about carbs. We need carbs. We're a carbon-based being, right? We're made of carbon. Every living thing needs carbon to be living, from my knowledge. And so if you want to stay as a carbon-based being, you want to stay living, you want to stay high-powered, you want to eat carbon-based foods. And obviously everything that is living is made up of carbohydrates, fats or lipids, and proteins or amino acids, right? And that's why I stick to the fruits, and I go back to the fruits always, because I know I need that carbon, I need that energy, I need that sunlight, I need that God food, because that's what He actually created. Basically, no man touched that, right? I mean, they planted the seed or whatever, but yeah, I don't like to eat too much vegan meals. I am a vegan, but I'm mostly raw vegan. So you have to learn about foods, you have to learn about your body, you have to learn about yourself, and why you're in your environment, and why you're thinking the things that you're thinking, because it all plays a role in this. It really does. And just learning from different people, seeing what people do, and the number one thing I always do is I look at, who do I listen to? Who am I listening to? Am I listening to this guy who's telling me I need protein, who's super swole, but looks like he's like he looks like he wants to take a shit, right? But he can't. You know what I'm saying? Because he's constipated. And he looks swolled up because he's constipated, right? All that stuff needs to break back down when you're detoxing. And I feel like that's the reason why I get skinny, but I still have the same power, and I actually don't get skinny. People say I look skinnier. I can tell when I'm getting skinnier, but I'm still the same strength, maybe even a little bit stronger. Maybe not with the weight, but definitely with my endurance. Like I can go like maybe a little bit less weight than I did like in high school, but I can go, more reps. So it's not really about the weight. It's not even about all that stuff. It's about how you feel. Some people go to the gym, they get super big headaches. They throw up. They get dehydrated. It's not about them. It's not about just those things. It's about feeling good And that's what the living foods, high energies, being in the sunlight, you know, this, talking to people, sharing a truth, that's the things that make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I always stick to. I love you guys, and I hope you guys can keep listening, keep getting something out of this, because I'm getting something out of it myself by just talking to you guys. So peace and love. See you guys at the top.